anxious attachment.
Then there's avoidant attachment.
And then there's the combo, anxious and avoidant. Last but not least,
You have the secure.
I feel like the last 4 months of dating or last 5 months of dating have really like kind of torn me down for the first time ever. But I definitely had childhood trauma.
What's going on? Why are you acting the way you are?
Like, are you a chaser at all or no?
You need to have this. You need to have this. You need to have this. I've made it very clear what I want. I've made it very clear that I'm not happy with how you're acting.
But I do.
It's no secret that I run a strict program. So
Yeah.
if I just...
Hey y'all, it's Regan. Welcome back to another episode of Cozy Up with Regan and Friends. I'm Regan.
I'm Madi.
Oh, wait, that was weird. Okay, Kermit the Frog. I don't even know how you did that. I hope that microphone picked that up. We're not even going to redo it. I feel like it's been a minute since we recorded.
Yeah.
At least a month, I think.
Here we are.
My surgery went well for anyone who cares or is wondering. I am 2 weeks post-op and things are looking up, looking great, healing fabulously. Yeah, I would say I had it went much better than expected.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
She's prepared with all the things.
All the things.
Which was like, it came in handy for like the first 3 days.
Yeah. I still like use some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Like my little sleeping pillow and things of that nature. And then besides that, we needed to give y'all a little update on Yanni's backyard wall mural.
Yes. I think it's the perfect addition to that little open patch. And it's like right by our pool. So when you're swimming, you can see it in the background.
It's so cute. It makes it just look so like cutesy and girly and light, and it adds a little bit of color.
Right.
I love it. She's adorable. We'll insert a video here and show you guys her masterpiece. Real quickly, because I'm drinking this, I just want to give like a reverse shout out to how disappointed I am. Have you tried this flavor?
No, because I saw the video on it and I was like,
which video? Somebody else reviewing it?
No,
or
the
me reviewing
actual
it?
Poppy video that they released, and they like were describing the flavors, and I was like, it doesn't sound like something that would be.
Well, it's just strawberries, blueberries, and cream, because berries and cream. But I love wild berry, and I love putting like. You got something in your eye?
Yeah. Can you see it?
No. Is it in your eye or on your lash?
It's on my lash, and every time I blink, it like.
Is it like a dog hair?
Probably.
Here, let me see.
No, wait. I think I got it.
Okay. How do you feel? And I even tried to add like strawberry flavoring or strawberry jam with like a vanilla cream into this. Still, this like wasn't.
But you shouldn't have to doctor up something that says the two things that you're going for. You know?
Yeah, I just wanted to
says if it was just berries and you're like, oh, it needs some cream, that'd be fine.
Yeah, like the wild berry poppy is my favorite.
Yeah.
And the wild berry poppy gas, so good. And then add like a vanilla cream or just heavy cream to that.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Because that one you could just say like, I just need a little cream.
Yeah. Anyway, just thought that was important since that's what I'm drinking. I'm only drinking it because I bought like 7 of them at the store. So
on the other hand, though, the Shirley Temple.
Oh, yeah. The Shirley Temple poppy.
Those ones.
10, 12 out of 10. That's so good. They're hard to find.
No, they're
for
like,
a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was on a date. This is like going into today's episode, so it's not like super random when I say this, but so I was on a date recently, and the guy asked me a question that made me like still think kind of about it because I thought I knew the answer. And this is something that you and I have like briefly like mentioned before, maybe in previous episodes or just like in our like day-to-day conversation. But the guy I was on a date with, he asked me, he said, what is your attachment style in a relationship? And I automatically thought, and no one wants to say this, but like he asked me, you have to be honest. Like, what am I supposed to say? Secure? Because it's not, most girls aren't going to say that. Majority of people aren't going to say secure.
Yeah.
So I said anxious attachment just because like in the past, that's like always what I've been. And then I started thinking about it more because, like, I feel like I talk while I'm thinking, you know? So, like, as I'm speaking, I'm, like, thinking, and I'm sure the other person on the other side is like, what is going on? But then the longer I was talking, I was like, I might be more avoidant now. I feel like I've made a switch just with, we'll talk more about it later. And then it started making me think, like, I don't know. Like, I'm a mixture of both, I think.
Yeah. When I studied this in college, we had, like, a whole segment on attachment styles, and to this day I don't think I can narrow myself into one.
No, I mean,
because it depends on like the relationship with the person.
yes.
And it depends on circumstances, but we'll dive in.
Yeah, it does. And that's like when I was like preparing for today's episode, I was like thinking about all of that. And I was like, well, for this person it might be this, but for this person it might be this. But like you do have a general style. Before we dive too deep in, I think we should just like tell what each style is, just for like the information aspect of this episode. So I'll just start with probably one of the more common ones. I would say probably the most common, at least with people that we know and love and talk to, would be anxious attachment, which would be the overthinking in a relationship. So I have the traits are needs constant reassurance, reads into everything. For example, he hasn't texted me in so-and-so amount of time. Like he hates me, he doesn't like me, he's over me, blah, blah, blah. And then it's also the habits that form of like falling in and out of love really, really fast. Like falling for the love bombing or being a love bomber, or just like really not clasping on, like latching on to any sort of form of reassurance and love that they give you. And then also unfortunately being attracted to emotionally unavailable people.
Tragic.
which usually doesn't pair well with an anxious attached person, because we'll talk about this later, but that only ups the anxious attachment cycle. But so that's anxious attachment, would be the overthinker.
And then there's avoidant attachment, and that's emotionally on airplane mode. So you're just kind of like you don't really think about it.
You're just kind of aloof.
But you pull away when things get real. You value independence a little bit too much, and you hate needy energy. In your dating life, you can be hot and cold, or you might have ghosting tendencies.
Yeah, avoidant attachment's unique because it almost comes across like you don't want the relationship at all, which is very...
But you're just turning it off so you don't have to feel anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's the combo. Combo action.
Remix.
Yeah. So that's anxious and anxious and avoidant, which it just gets messy really fast, and it gets like very confusing and chaotic. So this is where I unfortunately feel like I land with a lot of my relationships. Is you want closeness, but then when it gets too real, then you push it away. You have an internal battle 24/7 about this, that, and another thing. And then it just like gives off the energy of like the come here, JK, I don't actually want you to come here. Or, it's like just like kind of wishy-washy, even though like you don't want to be that way.
But it's like you don't know.
It comes across as like, yes, I want it. No, I don't. Yes, I want it. Which gets sticky. It gets sticky for everyone. And it's like not...
That's where mixed signals are
really, really tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, last but not least...
You have the secure. Yay!
The magical, mystical, secure attachment that I don't, unfortunately, think I've experienced for myself.
Yeah. That's where you have clear communication. You're not playing games to one-up each other or win. You feel calm instead of like worried about every little thing. And you choose consistency. So it's just like you're just rolling. You're good.
You're rolling, you're ready good, and you're like it's like the ultimate adult relationship. It's like what we all strive for, and what were we gonna say?
Nothing. It's for later.
Oh, okay. I mean, I feel like I have moments where I think I'm like secure, and I think we all obviously like hope to be secure. I just think it's hard to be securely attached when the other person is like so severely, chaotically one of the other things.
Yeah.
Before we like dive even deeper, is what right off the bat, which one would you say you relate with the most when you think about it?
Well, it's hard because like, like the deep dive, I've never put myself in one sort of category.
No.
Because like with the relationships that I've formed, and they're fine, I am secure. But I think with new relationships, especially romantic relationships, right away, it's hard not to second guess how they're moving because you don't want to waste time.
I would say we're talking like first month of a relationship. Which way do you lean? Would be like,
I try to be secure and I give off secure, but in my head, I'm anxious. But also when you read into every little thing, it just makes you more anxious.
It does.
But also when you read into every little thing, it's easy to be like, oh, this is the wrong thing. I'm done. And I'm also very easy at being secure and then something happens and I'm completely avoidant and I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like once I'm done, I'm not like.
Yeah. Like you almost kind of wish you hung on a little more, or you're not saying that?
No, not like hung on a little more, but it's like once I stop thinking about it, I don't like ruminate over it.
No. About what?
Like a relationship.
Person in general as a whole. Yeah, I guess. It takes a while to like stop though. I guess I'm not able to
once
just...
if there's like things are here, like they're a little bit here, but then if something happens where I'm like, okay, this is no longer like for me, then I'm done. And like I have no feelings towards it anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess like if I were to look at you, the last thing I would think you are is anxiously attached. Which is not what you're not saying you are. I'm just saying it's like totally random. I was just thinking about that. I'm just saying, yeah, you give off very avoidant or secure. But I would say you give off avoidant in the way of not like almost. Let me re-look at what.
See, that's what I'm saying. I've never put myself in one category.
Well, when things get real, I don't think you do that, but I do think you like your independence. I don't think you want needy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If something happens where it's like, oh, I realize, or if I have like a realization, like they're too needy, they're not going to help me do anything in any way.
You think you give up too quickly?
No. I don't. That's hard. It depends on the person.
Yeah, because I think there's pros and cons to being like kind of in it.
Yeah.
And kind of like I think there's pros and cons to being slightly obsessive, and there's obviously pros and cons to not being that way. I think how you're speaking right now is making me feel like you're just like, you go into it very like, if it works out, it works out, which is great.
Yeah.
But I also feel like sometimes you do need a little zest.
No, I do. But that's what I'm saying. Internally, I have that.
Yeah.
Internally, I get that feeling. So that's what I'm saying. I'll give like secure, even though I am anxious.
Yeah.
Like I think about things over, but I don't like really speak about it or tell the person about it. And then if something happens where like, I don't know, like they say something wrong.
Here, there's an energy shift, or
then I'm like,
you catch a lie.
Then I'm like, all right.
Yeah, immediately.
Then that's that.
Immediately done.
Yeah.
Like you're able to just be like on OTN onto the next.
I'm a lot better at it now than I was before.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you stay in something longer, then it like doesn't serve you a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say, gosh, it like sucks because it's like I'm like a mixture of all of them.
Yeah.
I think I used to be very, very, very anxiously attached, and like I've recently just made the switch of like, I don't know why, but I feel like the last 4 months of dating or last 5 months of dating have really like kind of torn me down for the first time ever. I feel like I've always kind of just like went on a date, maybe got attached, and then things didn't work out. Then I moved on, then went on a date, maybe got attached, like moved on. It was a kind of a constant cycle, also a constant cycle of being anxiously attached with these people. But like when things didn't work out, I was like bummed out, and then like I just moved on.
Yeah.
But I think recently I've just felt like I've gotten closer, or I've met people who fit what I've expected more. And then when they don't work out, I've gotten like genuinely bummed out.
Because you were a little more like emotionally invested.
Yeah, because I just like really, really saw something, or I really, really got excited about an opportunity that was like present. And it takes like, I never really experienced being like genuinely bummed out in the past.
Right.
And for some reason, the last like couple people I've dated, I've been like very just down in the dumps about, and it's like kind of changed. Now I'm like, oh, well, like this really sucks. And now I'm kind of changing my heart posture to like, I feel like I'm slightly avoidant. I feel like I'm kind of the one who's like not texting as much. And I'm kind of the one who's like not having like the hard combos or not being like as invested. But I think there's pros and cons to both, but mine has definitely shifted. But once again, it's like if that person's secure, I feel like I'm secure, but I also do then think like I am an anxious person.
Well, yeah, because I think about one day in a marriage, I don't care. Like the thing, like right now I'd be anxious if I don't get a text for 2 days, but if I'm in a marriage, you don't have to text me for 2 days. I'll see you when I get home. We can talk about our day.
No, for sure. And it comes down to how they communicate as well. Like if we're not talking about marriage, but more dating, I don't need to text every day. I truly don't. And
the people who need reassurance. It's like, I don't need that often if I know that you're in it.
And that's why I think I've shifted, because I used to like want to text all day every day, and then I realized that's one, just like exhausting.
Yeah.
We all have lives. But two, I think that's maybe where avoidant is coming in a little more, where it's like, I don't feel the reassurance need as much. Like, I kind of just want to like make plans.
Yeah.
And then I don't like really need to talk to you that much.
No.
Like, it's kind of a lot for me to have to continually talk to. If we have plans, like, I am so excited to
as
see
long
this
as you're
person.
still ready for those plans, then it's like,
like, I'm so excited for our date and whatever's to be planned. But throughout the week, like, I'm good.
Yeah.
For real. Okay, I think we did like the background of like by definition what these attachment styles are. So I think we should also just quickly do a background of like where do they come from and where do they develop. You said you study this a bit in school.
Oh yeah, a lot. It was one of the chapters in like our development classes, and then we did a lot of it in like human relation classes and stuff like that, because it really does come down to like how people interact with each other. And that was like the basis of my whole degree and development.
Yeah.
But the main part where you develop your attachment style is like up until 2 to 3 years.
What do you mean?
Like when you are born.
Oh, okay.
And then you get to like 3 years. Those are such formative years where you learn how to interact and be with people, that a lot of times if like kids have gone through something traumatic, like it takes a lot of work to change that.
Yeah. That makes sense. So it goes down to like early childhood, which when I think, I try to study my attachment style too, because it's like, it's not a cute thing to have anything but secure. You know, it's not ideal. So I think I've gone down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out why. And it always does kind of come down to like early childhood. And like, even if we had, like, I had a set of 2 loving parents who are still, you know, in love and whatever, and like a very good home, but I definitely had childhood trauma. And when you think about it and the pinpoint things, you're like, oh, that makes sense why that's like that, why that's like that, why that's like that. Like, I had to grow up it like faster than I would have liked to in a couple ways. Or I was hyperanalyzing this, so now I hyperanalyze this. Or I was acting like this when I was young, so now I do this in my relationships. And it's like,
no, it all makes sense when you kind of think about your childhood and like why you have patterns and things today. But the attachment styles are one of the things that you form when you're young, and you have no control over it. You only have control how you have them as an adult.
And they are
some people, like they are, but it takes a lot of work.
It's like, I mean, that's anything, because it's all up in here. So it's just like any sort of mental illness or anything of the sort. It's all like it's possible, but it's really, 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 really hard. When I was doing research of like where it comes from, like the 3 like quick bullet points, it said that if when you were younger, if we're doing early childhood development type of thing, it's when you were younger, if your needs were constantly met, you're more likely to be securely attached.
Yep.
If love was inconsistent, then that's when anxious attachment comes. And then if your emotions were dismissed or ignored, then that's where avoidant comes. And those sound so like simple and so like, well, duh. But also it's like, that does make a lot of sense, because if I feel like I lean more towards anxiously attached, it's saying that like attention was inconsistent. I wouldn't say totally inconsistent, but like, I think when you just do the very broad topic of that, I think it kind of makes sense. Like my feelings definitely weren't dismissed, but I could see why that would be for a lot of people too, especially men. I feel like a lot of men lean avoidant and a lot of women lean anxious. And I feel like men definitely probably have their feelings dismissed growing up.
There's some sort of push and pull with it being inconsistent. And then you just kind of keep always pulling for more. And that's where you overthink and get anxious about it.
Because then it's like, it's so tough to be with a person who's avoidant when you're anxious, because that's just like not gonna work. Like, I don't know like how in any world that really works long term, unless you both
have to compromise in some sort of way and like be open about it and be like, okay, well, what's going on? Why are you acting the way you are? And then, that's the only way.
And they have to be willing to like hear you, see you, and then want to get help, just like you would have to do with them, and then meet somewhere in the middle. I think it's also, this is kind of what I was thinking about earlier, where it's like it develops as early childhood or young children. But then it goes into like relationships as the adult, which is where even like it solidifies. I feel like my anxious attachment for a while has gotten worse and worse after bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship of people being like slimy, sneaky, not like liars.
Because then you're just like waiting for it to happen.
I'm waiting
and you're
for
like
it to
looking for
happen.
the first sign of it happening.
Or it's just like even like just being disappointed after disappointment after disappointment. It's like it just slowly starts to wear you down.
Yeah.
And like that's where you need more reassurance, more reassurance, more reassurance.
But then you find a new person, you're like, oh, there it is.
Yes.
I was just waiting.
I was just waiting for the person who knows me and understands me. Still waiting. But I know it's out there. And I think I can't expect someone to...
No, I was saying, oh, there it is when you see like they pull away as an avoidant and you're an attachment. And you're like,
oh,
like I see it now.
Yeah.
More,
and what
probably sooner than I would have seen it before had I not had past experience with it.
Yes. And what is your... I mean, I guess if you're not putting yourself as anxiously
You're not
attached,
qualified.
You're not qualified. No, what do you think one should do? Like, what would you do in those situations? Like, it's hard for me to ask you that question because I wouldn't say you categorize as anxiously attached, but I think we all have tendencies. But have you been in a situation where, I think we all maybe have, where we're invested and then the guy's now like, beep, boop, I don't really know. Like, are you a chaser at all or no? Like, you were absolutely like not going to, like, you wouldn't be caught dead chasing.
No.
In any capacity.
No.
That's fair. Ever?
No, because I tell you this much. If someone is avoidant and completely loses me and like we are done communicating, I am willing to bet so much that they will come back and text me in 2 weeks, in 6 months, and they will say,
they always do.
Man, I treated you wrong.
I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve that. You're such a great person. You're so beautiful. Yeah. It's like 6 months later.
Because then if I'm chasing and chasing and chasing, why? I'll just sit here and wait for your apology for the way you acted.
Yeah, I'm not much of a chaser, but I am like a bit of a like giver of a lot of chances for a while, which I've tried. I'm just like,
well, no, for sure. You want to see the good in people. And we know that men are not exactly emotionally intelligent a lot of the times with like, okay, they're not going to remember your dog's birthday.
Yeah.
You know, or it's like, they didn't know.
Like, don't expect a good morning text. She's like, they don't want to do it. No. They shouldn't have to do it. She's like, don't expect it. If they do it, that's great. But she's like, they don't want to.
Right.
You know?
And it's like, sometimes you have to hold a guy's hand and be like, I like when you plan dates.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel like you're invested.
It's so hard for me to do.
But other times, if you've already voiced that is like a thing that you like and they continue to not do it, I'm not going to say it over and over and over again.
No, that's
what I'm saying. I give chances, but I communicate how I'm feeling. And then if it keeps being an issue, then you're not hearing me.
Yeah.
And you're choosing not to change.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like hard. It's a hard balance to figure out of chances or just like coaching almost. Like, I don't know if I'm giving like, chances or if I'm just giving guidance.
When I first started at my school, it was funny because the principal was like, or the director was like, yeah, and I'm married to my wife and she runs this program that's like an umbrella of our school. He said, oh, she ABA therapied me into a relationship. And I was like, that's funny. And then ABA therapy is just like, you don't give any attention to anything negative, but you give a lot of attention to positive things.
Okay, so how would that work in like a relationship?
I think he was just joking, but he was she would get like super, super excited when I would like buy her flowers or something. And then like, if I didn't say anything or if I didn't do anything, then she just would ignore me.
No, but I feel like, I know like you said, he's just joking, but now I'm like thinking about that. Yeah. And that could like literally be a thing where you're right. It's like, don't give any sort of reaction to anything negative. Just move on and act like, oh, you didn't notice, you didn't do that.
But like the thing is, you still like vocalize like, I didn't like that. Okay, and then you can't be psycho and be like, you said this and you said that. Like, and like really dive in and write out paragraphs. But it's like, I didn't like when you did that. You can choose to change or you can't.
Yeah.
But I really liked when you did this.
Yeah.
Which is just funny because then that goes into like mind games and stuff. And, you know.
This is like maybe like totally not on the subject at all, but now I'm just thinking about it. Do you feel like you communicate well? Do you feel like you've had to have like hard communication in any?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like even off the bat, now that I know how to communicate things that I don't want from the beginning, I'm not like sitting down like, you need to have this, you need to have this, you need to have this. Like, but when the moment arises, I feel like I make it very, very clear. Like, oh, I think we should do this, that, or the other thing, and I expect this from you, or like, yeah.
And
because like I said, once I communicate something, either they choose to hear me and change it or they don't. And then that's when it's like done for me, is if they
don't.
And
then, okay, then this leads me to the question of, say you get to the point of they don't, you're done. Are you having a proper adult conversation about the done part?
No.
Okay. I was like, I feel like you've been like good, but I know you don't have a proper exit conversation.
No.
Yes. And that's where I think the avoidant, where the avoidant comes in, because the last thing on the avoidant is ghosting tendencies. And you're not a ghoster.
No.
But you have.
But I've made it very clear what I want and made it very clear that I'm not happy with how you're acting.
But I do still think there has to be a convo or a text. It can't just be like a fizzle goodbye, never see you again.
Can be though. It can be though.
I feel like I really, really appreciate when people give me like an exit text or an exit conversation. Usually a text, and a text is all we need. That's fine. So I've tried to be very, very like clear when I am doing an exit text. Like when it's actually like done and over with, and I'm finally like given enough chances or given it my all.
Yeah.
I do just let the person know.
I could be better at that, but it reaches a point, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know,
I don't know. I'm such a firm believer in like, you got to.
I'm like, you know, I'm done. You know, I said what I didn't like. You knew you didn't do these things. And now it's like, what did you expect?
Yeah.
Like, really?
I don't know.
Like, take a look at your own actions. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I can see both ways. And if you've had like a hard convo of like, hey, buddy, like this is your last straw. But I still feel, but it's also tough because it's not like you're like dating these people most of the time.
That's what I mean. Like if it was like a relationship and then I had decided like it's done, I'd be like,
gotta be done.
Hey babe, you gotta be done.
Hey babe, that's it.
But if we're in the talking stage and like I don't like things are already not working out, then I feel like I don't need to tell you. Again, I've already voiced like, hey, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Yeah. I appreciate when you plan dates.
Yeah.
I appreciate when you put effort in.
Yeah.
I appreciate consistency. I don't like when you did this or this. Maybe we could work on that. And then it repeatedly happens. I think you can kind of catch the hint.
Yeah. No, for sure.
That I don't put up with that. I also, you know, it's like, it's no secret that I run a strict program. So
yeah,
if I just don't talk one day and be like, oh, well.
Yeah.
There she goes.
You and I very
elite employee.
Elite. No. You and I very heavily when it comes to dating, and we don't like talk about it enough or like see it in enough detail. I just know like just off like rip, our brains work very, very differently. Yeah. And just our lifestyles are very different. So like the amount of time we have or the things we can do or like that varies very greatly. Yeah. I have no idea where I was going with saying that. I like totally lost everything in my head just went away. You are. I have no idea. Not a clue. But I'll just change this. I think you are great at communicating.
Employee, that's...
Well, I know that's what you said, but that's not what I was going to say.
Okay.
I think you're good at communicating, and I think you do mean business. I think... Okay, what's something to kind of wrap up today's episode? I think we're both have grown a lot. I think we're both very good at a lot of things when it comes to dating, and I think like it's both mean business.
It's about like intentional effort though too when you're dealing with an attachment style, because I feel like when you're aware of it, then you can be more aware of it and put off something different. Because like I said, I'm anxious, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay, so what is something you would want to work on for yourself? Like whether you can identify exactly your attachment style or